How concerned should we be about the Suns after that Game 1 loss?
It's a home. The teams are holding serve at home. I don't think any of the road teams was favored to win. Was any road team favored to win? Did ESPN bet or any of the betting sites?
Yeah. The Pacers were favored to win.
Okay, that's it. So are we surprised by this one? I'm not surprised by this one. It's one game. Let's see how it plays out. Ant-Man got it going early, and he kept it going late. He played phenomenal, but I'm not going to overreact to one game. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see what happens when Phoenix goes back and get in their building for 2 games. And if it's 2-2, then what? Nothing has been accomplished. The series doesn't start till one team loses on their home court. Now, we might have a different story if Phoenix were able to go in and get a victory tonight in Minnesota. But I'm not concerned at all. Minnesota's played well. They were battling for the #1 seed throughout the entirety of the season. They're a very good team. They got the Twin Towers, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns has come back in the last week or so. Ant-Man is a superstar waiting to just burst at the seams and be the face of the NBA and win an MVP. But I'm not concerned about what I saw. We know Phoenix struggles defensively, but they got 3 guys that can get it going. I'm not concerned at all.
I am. And are we sure that those 3 guys could get it going? We know what
2 of the 3.
We know what Kevin Durant could bring to the table. But when you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, let me tell you something. When you look at their defense, we know Rudy Gobert, he's possibly on the verge of winning his 4th Defensive Player of the Year. But when it comes down to field goal percentage, and especially around the perimeter, Jay McDaniels this season, he ranked 4th. Okay, Anthony Edwards, he ranked 10th. Old school Mike Conley, he ranked 31st. They were 6th in the league in steals. The one thing that you can't change is heart. That travels. And so when I'm looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series against the Suns, all season long, the Phoenix Suns had their number. And the last thing you want to do, if you have an enemy that's sick, is give them some antibiotics. And that's exactly what happened the other night. They gave this team antibiotics, and they gave this team, led by Anthony Edwards, confidence, who don't need confidence. He's the 89 version of Michael Jordan. He's the best young leader that's a superstar in the entire NBA. They have an identity. They're not going to back down from anyone. Kevin Durant knows that. Devin Booker knows that. And he's going to constantly remind you and show up in great fashion. And again, they have home court advantage. Right. That's a huge thing. They have established identity on that home court. The fan base has been phenomenal. They haven't been this relevant since Kevin Garnett. So when I'm thinking about the Timberwolves, led by this young superstar in Anthony Edwards, the Phoenix Suns, they dead bird tall grass. Minnesota winning this series, and the Suns know that.
Let me tell you why the Phoenix Suns should be concerned about the Minnesota Timberwolves, Shay. Anthony Edwards is a superstar. This brother is something special. He's something special. But there are moments, again, when you're talking about greatness, there are moments that you peel, that you see, wait a minute, this is a little different. This ain't, like Kevin Durant did have, 31 this game? He did have 31. He did shoot 11 of 17 from the field. But no matter what numbers he put up or how effective he was, Anthony Edwards only scored 2 more points than him. But their impact appeared oceans apart. Because Anthony Edwards and what he did and what he was bringing to the table, I'm talking about slashing to the basket, fadeaway jump shots, dribbling, dancing on cats, basically calling for Kevin Durant. I mean, looking for dudes. He was looking for them. He came in, Kendrick Perkins reminded me of this the other day. He talked about how Anthony Edwards said to Malika Andrews coming in, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and them, they think they the best 2 guards in this game. Well, I think I'm better. He didn't say it after the game, Shannon. He said it beforehand. He said it before he met up with them. And then went out there before the game and was like, here I am. Here I am. And so you know what I did? You know what I did, Shannon Sharpe?
What's up?
I called the GOAT. That's what I did. I picked up the phone. That's what I called the GOAT, right?
I didn't know
While
you and
this was
Bron
happening,
talk.
me and Wilbon, you know this, Perk, me and Wilbon called them. The GOAT, Michael Jordan. We're like, yo, you seeing this? Michael Jordan, that brother is special. No question about it. Saying the obvious. This is what we're looking at here. And when you are a Kevin Durant, you are a Bradley Beal, you are a Devin Booker, there's something to be said. Look, man, y'all played pro sports. I didn't. You know this better than me. When you see somebody coming, how do you stop their momentum? You stop their momentum by saying, yeah, you coming, but damn it, I'm here. Who you think you dealing with?
Right.
We ain't see that Saturday. We ain't see that at all. What we saw was a Suns team that had to bow down to the onslaught that was being brought down upon them by this brother. Now, it helps that you got a Rudy Gobert who's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year for the 4th time. It helps that Karl Anthony Towns, who's a 6'11", could give you 19 points. It helped that Alexander Walker could come off the bench and give you about 18 points, or Naz Reid could give you another 12. You see the size, you see the athleticism, you see the commitment to defense and the defensive prowess that Minnesota gives you. And they said, you know how y'all blew us out during the regular season, shooting as well as you did from the perimeter? We ain't going to let that happen today. You're going to have to figure out another way to beat us. That's not how Phoenix can do it. They can do it by beating you from the perimeter. They're in trouble. They're in a world of trouble.
Well, I think the thing is the impact. Ant-Man was at home. And we know a guy that's playing at home, his impact is probably going to be felt more at home than Kevin Durant's 31, because we know Kevin Durant's going to be efficient. He's one of the few guys that on a handful of shots can get you 30 because he has the 3 levels, the mid-range, the 3-point, at the basket. You foul him, he's going to go to the free throw line and make 90% of his shots. Ant-Man was sensational. There's no denying that. But Ant-Man got more help from the auxiliary pieces than what Kevin Durant did. Clearly, Booker didn't have his finest showing. I agree with you. I don't expect Book to struggle like that again. But in order for them to win this series, their big two has to be special. That's why they went out and gave up what they gave up and broke their nucleus up with Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson. They gave up all those pieces to get a Kevin Durant because they wanted a big guy to go alongside Devin Booker. But Book's going to have to play better.
Let me tell you something. A wise man told me this, because, you know, I got an old soul. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And when you're watching this game, and I'm watching how contagious Anthony Edwards' mentality is, his tenacity is, his leadership is. When you watch this team, look at their pickup points defensively. Look at their perimeter defense when you're watching Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, and Mike Conley. They're picking you up full court. They're on your ass like back pockets. When you're looking at Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, and yes, I tweeted about Kevin Durant getting in this bag in the first quarter, but if you go back and watch those tapes when they were switching out on KD, those were tough, contested shots.
Yeah.
And so when I think about that, that travels. When you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that one game comes to mind, I watched them walk into Denver and hand them an L in the regular season. This team, their identity travels because of Anthony Edwards. And you know what he tweeted out yesterday after the game? 1 down, 15 more to go. And so that's a message that has been sent, not just to the rest of the league or the Phoenix Suns, but to that locker room. And when you have a leader, a guy with a mentality like that don't give a damn, but except for the people that are in our locker room, it travels. Because, again, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say this to Stephen A.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler couldn't pull the dog out of Karl Anthony Towns. Donovan Mitchell couldn't pull this type of dog out of Rudy Gobert. Yeah, so we're watching a different type of mindset, man, and it's a real thing. There's nothing fake about this. It's a real, authentic, organic thing, and this team, that Phoenix team, is in trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out for Kevin Durant.
Well, it's going to be because, listen, Kevin Durant has been gone from Golden State since 2019. He ain't been out of the second round since. Yeah. Now, that's not entirely his fault. Injuries to him, ultimately injuries to Kyrie Irving. I got it. But y'all have reminded me he's gotten swept in Boston a couple of years ago. They probably wouldn't have won their first-round series against the Clippers before losing to Denver last year if Kawhi Leonard hadn't gone down. And now here you are again going up against Minnesota. And, oh, by the way, there's a lot of parity within the Western Conference. So there's no surefire, there's no guarantee that Phoenix ain't going to be relevant in the foreseeable future if they can't make noise now. It matters. And so when you're that good, you're that great, as Kevin Durant is, you got to answer the call. Now, he's done it. He's got to get some help. Booker's got to help him. Beal's got to help him. But we all know everybody's going to look at Kevin Durant because Anthony Edwards was looking at Kevin Durant. Anthony Edwards was talking to Kevin Durant. Anthony Edwards, this is his favorite player, the guy that he idolized. He went after that man and was successful in game one. That is a personal challenge. Yeah. And when you Kevin Durant, you got to answer that call.
If only he was a Knick.
How about that?
Way back when.
How about that?
Right?
He didn't want to be the Knicks.
That's right. You know what? With this present Knicks squad, if Kevin Durant was there, Knicks would be coming out of the East.
Don't need them.
Oh.
Stop trying to add everything.
I'm just saying. Look, y'all don't scare me, man.
Well, Perk.
Y'all scare me, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to tell you.
Perk, that's a real question. Because remember when he went to the Nets, it was the Knicks really wanted him. So I'm just saying.
But he didn't want the Knicks.
I get all that, Molly. But you got to be a different type of player to go play for Tom Thibodeau.
He didn't want.
That's fair.
You got to be a
We got to go.